What's up, everybody? I'm Frankie Biggz. Thank you for stopping by today. We are looking at an interview that Pharrell Williams did for Rolling Stone with RM. This is part of our celebration birthday weekend for him. A birthday celebration weekend. Weekend celebration. Whatever. Anyways, two iconic guys, two iconic producers. This is going to be really, really cool. I can't wait. This is some producer talk. I've been waiting to see videos like this where I can comment and react to other producers who are talking about what I love the most, which is production in general. So without further ado, thank you guys in the chat room for stopping by, and to my rovers, please let us know that you're there and let us know where you're watching from. If you kindly would do so, I would greatly appreciate that. Before we get into it, if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, put the notification bell on so you know the next time we drop one of these videos. Here we go. Let's count it down. 1, 2, 3.
I'm not sure if you remember it or not, but we've met at
Of course.
Billboard Music Awards.
Yes, of
in
course.
2018.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
We took a photo.
We took a photo together.
I wanted to work then. First of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me as well.
As well.
I think that there's a huge benefit in writing and producing for other people. I'm pretty sure you may feel that way as well, but it allows me to go to places that I wouldn't go for myself. And as much as it feels like, I may know what I'm doing when I'm doing songs that I'm, featured as a solo artist, some people know, but most people don't know that all of my solo efforts have always been songs that I have written and produced for other people. In fact, when I try to write songs for myself or produce songs for myself, they always are too complex and seem much more like a puzzle than they do, a jam, like a bop. But I do those for other people. So for me, oftentimes my best stuff is the stuff that I poach back for myself. I don't know how it is for you.
In 2005, I was just an elementary school kid, and I just wanted to be a rapper. As I got to know what's rap, it's basically it's rhythm and poetry. I really felt attractive for this whole genre to send the messages to the world. Actually, it's really embarrassing to answer about all this in front of my idol, but for me, it's really more comfy to mostly for me, I write somebody's lyrics or the melodies for other artists, not as many as you, but it feels like it gives me another avatars and characters.
Yes.
So when it comes to me, it's a complex, and it always comes with the pain. To confess. But it's still the most important part for me.
I can relate to that. I think the pain part for me is probably the fun part, because that's like some of the most vivid paint that we can use as artists when we're like filling in what we want to be a powerful verse. It's like, okay, does it hurt enough? Or does it feel good enough? So I understand you there when you say, you inject the pain in your verses to make sure that they're strong. I agree.
I was wondering the creative process, how it's different for you yourself, like In My Mind or Girl, or between the songs you made for the others, like the singers or the rappers, or like clips, grounding, of course. I just wonder the difference, from the scratch.
So when an artist walks in, they ask for something.
Like a track or idea?
They'll say, I just want something hard, or I want something darker, or I want, something that's like for the club, like,
banger.
You know what I'm saying? A banger, and so I'm considering what they're looking for, but I'm also thinking about like the texture of their voice and the patterns and the melodies that they do usually, then I think about how I can give them something very different than they've ever done before. And so when you mix all of that together, a lot of times, you know, an artist will say, man, that's a little different for me or whatever. And then I'll go ahead and reference it and, you know, sell it to someone else. And then like oftentimes that same person will come back to me and say, man, why didn't you play me that? And I was like, I did play you that, but they weren't hearing it in that way.
Wow, that's the fun part.
Yeah, that's the fun part. But then there are people who jump out the window and they go ahead and try it. Because my whole thing is just try it. We don't have to put it out.
Right.
But, you know, people are so good at what they do. Sometimes they're afraid to explore different parts of their voice, different parts of their personality, and different parts of their career. So, you know, they're a little like hesitant. But for the ones that do try it, they get to experience something new. And look, if we decide at the end of the day it's just not right for them, it's not right for them.
Right.
But you got to hear a different side.
All right. I got to say right off the bat, he is 100% right. And I'm talking about Pharrell, about this. This job that I have, this career that I have is the exact thing that Pharrell has. We both are Grammy Award winning record producers. We both operate in the same way, where we have artists that come to us and say, this is what I like. And like him, I have an extensive amount of tracks, from pop tracks to hip hop tracks to techno tracks to, I even, believe it or not, I even have country tracks. Like, and I'm talking old country tracks. And I mean, I've got everything, so that when an artist comes to me and says, I'm looking for this type of music, I always send them catalogs of tracks that are available. It's really up to them to go through and see, you know, I like this and like that. And sometimes not any of the stuff that I send that I've already pre-made they like. Sometimes they want to start from the beginning. Well, I would really like this and that. But this has happened where I work with another artist and I send them the same list of tracks, the same link that has all of these tracks, and they pick something and it does well. And then they come back to me and they say, well, why didn't you show me that track? And it's exactly what he said. I did show you that. You just didn't hear it. You want that pop out, and everybody wants the pop out track, you know? Oh my God, the first time I heard it was a banger. But you see, the thing is, sometimes it doesn't become a banger until it adds you into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an artist here named David Bisbal, who, this guy is ultra famous. He's one of my friends. And I heard another musician say to me, and it made all the sense in the world, that no matter what kind of track that you send David, the moment that David starts to sing on that track, it becomes a David Bisbal track. It's no longer a hip hop track, a drum and bass track, none of that. Somehow he's able to make it a David Bisbal track. And I think that that's super important, because what that means is that the artist is good enough and is so good that they absorb that track, and it doesn't matter what genre it is, it just becomes their track, which is the most important thing for a producer, is to be able to produce music for an artist and call it theirs. You've done your job if you've done it, if that happens. If you want to look at it in a metaphor, look at it as an open coloring book. My job, that the coloring book was illustrated by the artist. My job is now to fill in, is to make those pages come alive, to add things, to put color to the illustration that's in the artist's mind. And I always say this, and I said this when I was talking about Sugar, and this actually went viral. One of the things that I really dig about Sugar and RM, they both, and it sounds like Pharrell too, is they will not abandon an idea. It's like, just try it, man, and try to complete it. You, believe me, there's gonna be a point when, if it's not working, if you keep going, leave it alone for a second, put a bookmark on it, get back to it. But eventually, you will create the monster of monster tracks every single time if you attack it that way. Let's keep going.
That's my favorite part of writing and producing for other people.
Like a challenging.
Yeah.
Like, so here comes another thing.
Okay.
I started to listen to music. I mean, like the hip hop music in 2005. I started with the Nas and Eminem.
Okay.
Of course, the classics.
Yeah.
But you know, as I get to know you, when I first listened to your song, especially, I just want to point out "Take It Off,"
Yeah.
because that's my playlist, one of the playlists.
Whoa.
So
That's crazy.
when I listened to it, I even translated it into Korean, and I just recorded once when I was I'm amateur.
Whoa.
So you know, when I listened to it, I just always been wanting to have the, you know, frequency, like, you know, because you always cross over this. These days, genre doesn't mean anything, but I think at that time, I think was like, you know, some rappers really criticize the rappers who sing or use the autotunes.
Right.
But I don't know, you started your career as a producer, or so you're like very natural for that. But I always wanted to have the frequency like you. Like, you know, it sometimes it's just singing. It could be falsetto. Sometimes you rap. Sometimes you just sang the hook for the other artists, like Snoop Dogg. And so how do you position yourself when you participate in the song as a player? Like,
Wow. First of all, these are great questions.
Thank you.
And no one's ever asked me that, believe it or
really?
not. Like, no, I've never had a journalist ever ask me
that
that.
really matters to me.
So, and that's like no cap. Like, you, believe it or not, no one's, and it sounds like they could have, and because it's such an obvious question, but no one's ever asked me that. So
Yeah.
I'm blown away by that. I make decisions based off of feeling. I don't make them based off of convention.
I gotta rap. I gotta sing.
Yeah, no, it's just whatever it feels like it needs, and I'm gonna channel it as best as I can, because I'm trying to tell somebody else who's gonna be better than me to do it. And oftentimes, what will happen was artists will be like, "Nah, we want you to stay on there," and I'll be like, "No, but it's for this person." But I channel what I feel like is missing, and I forget that it's gonna be me, because if I think that it's gonna be me, then it won't be as good and I won't be as confident. I'm only confident knowing that I am giving the instruction and the directives to someone else. Like, for example, there's a record that I did with Mystical a long time ago called
Mystical.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, Shake Your Ass, right?
Ooh.
So when I did that record, I was thinking, like, you know, writing wise, you know, Chad and I produced it together, but when I was writing that hook, I was pretending that, like, Eddie Kendricks from the Temptations could do it. And I remember saying to them, "Oh man, you know, we're gonna get, like, you know, we're gonna get you know, the guy from the Temptations to do it." And they were like, "Nah, the record company wants you to stay on there." I was like, "Wait, what?" So it was like this weird thing where, like, I started to realize that was my sweet spot, is when I channel other people and I surrender to what the music needs and not let my ego or my feelings get involved. And then I actually make better decisions, whether it's going to be me on the song at the end of the day or
the
not,
other artists,
or another artist. I filled in the blank and given them a different feeling. And sometimes I would be sharp, you know, when I'm singing on there, but it just felt good. And we would just leave it.
So I'm not sure if you remember it or not, but we've met at
Of course.
Billboard Music Awards.
Yes, of
in
course.
2018.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
We took a photo.
We took a photo together.
I wanted to work then. But I didn't want to be aggressive. So I was like, let's just take a photo. But
you were nice.
But I really wanted to, I was like, yo, let's leave. I think we took a photo backstage.
Yeah, backstage in your room, actually.
Yeah, and then, like, I was working in a studio not too far off, and I really wanted to be like, yo, fuck all of this. No, you know what? Let me correct this, because I don't want your fan base to be mad at me for using this kind of language.
Now they're
But
out,
man, I was like, man, I wanted to be like, listen, let's leave here right now and go make some great music, because I just loved everything that you guys were doing. I love your energy, and you know, I love what it is that you represent. You know, at such a time when, you know, our Asian brothers and sisters and, you know, fellow Asian human beings that maybe don't identify necessarily binarily in a binary way, you know, the Asian community has just been going through so much
these days. Yeah.
And
gradually, more and more.
The Asian community has given me so much. And I really feel like y'all's energy, you're also showing like artist not just like not just in one specific genre, but I think you're just like also showing people that like, you don't have to be, you can be humble. You guys, your energy is there's a lot of humility that you all vibrate. I think that's a great energy. What people don't realize is like when you have, you know, literally, you know, hundreds of millions of fans, and you encounter them, you know, 20 and 50 and 100,000 at a time.
I can't notice a single face, you know. It's just a mass.
It's
M-A-S. That's not a.
It's a mass.
It's a mass,
and it is a massive voice, and it is a massive, using that word mass, it is a massive energy coming at you, and you say jump,
and then they jump,
and you sing, and they sing every word,
right,
and you know that you can feel through their voices that so many of their lives have been affected and changed because of something that you've done.
That's what I
don't know how you do that, because I've had a couple songs do that, and then when I get out there and go sing it, that would make me cry because it was too much of a responsibility. Every time I get that close to that size and what I do as a musician, I always step back.
Oh, why? It's like, is it too heavy?
It's too heavy, man.
Too much?
It's too much of a responsibility. That's why I really revere people like yourself and, you know, your band members and other artists like B and J, and like, man, what y'all go out there and go face every night on that stage. It is humbling and it's overwhelming, and sometimes your nervous system got to be built for that.
Of course.
Let me ask you this: how do you deal after you come off the stage feeling electrified and shocked every night? How do you decompress, or do you decompress, or do you purge? Like, how do you do that?
It's, you know, my first performing was in front of like 10 people in some small clubs when I was like 15.
Okay.
And I like forgot most of the lyrics. So at that time, I just realized that, I'm not a star type. I'm not a, like a front man and, you know, could enjoy all this shit and just, you know, it's like Kurt Cobain or Mick Jagger. I'm not that type of, I'm just a human just who loves writing music and just, you know, the energy. So every night, like, for example, we had these stadium shows in Las Vegas last April.
Yeah.
It was 4, but like every night is a challenge. It's like same set list. You know, it's like maybe the same flow, sort of type, little different, but just like you said, that moment, like after we finished the first 3 beginning songs, and then we, you know, take out the earphones, and then like we just like, we're fucking back. It's like that's like everybody shouting out. At that moment, you know, that's when I really gets all the nerves, and like, you know, there's a different me persona for the next 2 hours and a half. But before that, from the rehearsal and even in the plane, I got really nervous and, you know, like so responsible, because I really am aware of the stories that, you know, fans buy the tickets and they come from Brazil, you know, from Japan, Korea, like from everywhere. They just come there for just that one night. So it feels me like I have to pay back, you know. I have to give them, I have to offer them the best night ever in their lives. So it's a mess, and it's a too much energy. But I'm a human, and I really get nervous, and I really sometimes get depressed by, and even get swallowed by all the energies. But I'm trying, and I try to deal with it, because I'm a human, and I love the music. I love their love, because I think love is really happening when we give somebody, not we receive. Yeah, we take.
Yeah.
So I think it's more closer to the real love, I guess, personally. So I just want to give them back. They brought us from just a small city in Korea all the way back to the heart of this music industry, like Las Vegas, LA, New York. Me having an interview with Pharrell, it could happen because of fans all over the world. I'm just always grateful, and I just don't want to disappoint them. How do you position yourself? Like, you're a producer, yeah, you may be a rapper, you may be a singer, you may be a CEO, father, a husband. Like, I'm for, of course, the name Pharrell explains everything, but except that, how will you define yourself? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I'm a public servant first.
Public servant.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that word.
Yeah, and when you serve the public, you're doing
something for public.
Yeah, and that's God's will. I'm a believer.
Oh, you're a believer.
Yeah, I believe the universe is real. For me, God is the universe. We're in the universe. And then, again, being a public servant, being, a father, a husband, and then music is like everything for me, because music's the skeleton key that's opened up every door.
Still music.
Yeah, it's like the center of everything, because without that, I wasn't able to do all the stuff that I'm able to do. And then I definitely have my struggles with having a lack of a sense of purpose, I think.
When?
Right around 2005, when I put out In My Mind.
In My Mind.
I just felt like,
right after that?
As soon as it didn't do what I wanted it to do, I mean, culturally, it made an impression, but it didn't do it egotistically. It didn't perform the way I wanted it to, chart-wise. Like, it just didn't do what I was used to at that time, and that really hit me hard. So that made me start to think about like purpose and things having real, true DNA, and not just aesthetic perversion, but like real, true, like meaning, and something that could be meaningful to people, but at the same time still fun. And I've always loved a girl, so that was always going to be a part of it. But so I understand what that is. I know what it's like to hit that place in your career, and for whatever reason, and you guys are doing fine. But I think, from what I'm hearing and what I'm understanding, you guys hit a place where you were like, what are we doing? Who are we? Are we who we said we were?
Right.
And as you think about who you are and you think about what you mean and what your intentions are, it's like also kind of determining who you want to be. I mean, how's that feel? Like, where are you in that process right now? Because you're working on a solo record, right?
Yes, like 90% of the work is done.
Okay.
I've released some mixtape as one of the member of the band, but I think it was just like experiments. I think this time it's maybe my official first solo album.
Okay.
That I could feel enough.
Okay.
I don't know it's gonna be like, I don't know if I would feel like you after In My Mind or not, but I think it'll happen after when I release it.
Yeah.
So I'm just dependent on the time, but it's been just like 10 years after we had our debut as a team. So K-pop is all about the band and the groups. And actually, I told you, I personally started my career as a rapper and as a poet.
Yeah.
So that was a tricky part actually, because the K-pop is like a mix.
Yeah.
It's like the mix of American pop music, all the visuals and the choreos and social medias and stuff, it's really intense and really hectic. So it has some pros and cons of its own. So, after 10 years, I think it was not our intention, but we took it. But we actually became a sort of a social figure. So, a K-pop band going to have a speech at the UN, or meeting the presidents. It's like I think I was really confused that I'm what am I, like a diplomat or what? So
Yeah.
I was just a small rapper and lyricist when I was young, like from the scratch. So it was 10 years really intense as a team, and I actually was in charge, like almost all of the interviews, and representing the team, like in front of the other members. That was my stuff, I guess, role.
Yeah.
So I think I got really I don't know, like, yo, I gotta stop this for a bit.
Yeah.
I gotta shut it down and just fall from it away, and then just see what's going on. Making my mind really calm down.
Yeah.
And then I think so that's how I got to concentrate on my just solo. And these days I really have been thinking about the 15 when I first listened to you. The first feeling and the vibe and the reason why I started, why I chose music to for my whole life, I guess. So when I started my music, I was like 14, and now I'm like 28. So it's like just the half. It's like it's like way shorter than you. So I'm in that process. So it's really tricky and confusing, and I just don't know what's going to happen. So if you could give me any advices, because you were in the band and you are in the band, and you done the band. It's different from the K-pop, but you've done a lot of projects, like of course NERD, Neptunes, and of course your solo.
Yeah.
So, like any thoughts about
being in the Neptunes, being in NERD, and having a solo record really helped me, because it you do one thing, then you take a break. You do another thing, then you take a break. You do another thing, then
switch
you take
modes.
A break. Yeah, and it allows me to like put on different hats and put on different masks. So I understand that, and I know like having that departure is gonna make it really fresh for you. I think it's good for you to do that, because then when you come back to it, to the group,
the team.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be to the team. I think it's gonna be super fresh. You're gonna have a whole lot of ideas. I would just say continue to move forward, continue to be curious, and don't put any kind of necessary pressure on what it is that you do by saying, no absolutes, like, oh, I will never do music again, or I will never. I wouldn't do any of that. I would just
no nevers.
No nevers. Just stay along for the ride. Just keep going.
Cruising.
Yeah, and just see where you end up, because it's really interesting.
Thank you.
No, thank
you.
It
was a bless.
Pleasure's mine.
Very cool. So I think I got it wrong. It was RM interviewing Pharrell.
Well, it's kind of like
Both?
Well, yeah, you just watched it.
Well, no, I'm thinking that it was more slanted towards RM that was interviewing Pharrell. Because in the end, he tells Pharrell, thank you. You know what I mean? And he dabs him up. So.
Well, yeah, but they ask each other questions. It's just like half and half, I guess you can say.
Well, look, I like this because it addresses some things. This is just scratching the surface of production. But I like what Pharrell was saying concerning the fact that he, when it comes to doing music for himself, that's the most difficult thing in the world to do. I understand that, because I think that's something that every producer artist kind of goes through. Like, doing music for ourselves is super hard. If we're doing music for other people, it's easy and we can bang it up, man. I don't know why, but when it comes to doing music for ourselves, the selection gets, I don't know what happens there. It's confidence, I guess. And also, all of the things that you believe in, the things that you've preached to other artists at that point, you kind of have to make good on, because now you're the artist. Now everything you've told them, you have to remind yourself to do. And one of those big things, they don't talk about it, is demo love. When you do a demo of something and you send it to an artist, was saying, look, this is just the first draft. This isn't, don't fall in love with this. We got to work on it. And they do exactly that. They fall in love with it. And now whatever moves you make from that point, they have the bad case of demoitis. You know what I mean? They want to hear it the way the demo was, and that's not how it works. That also happens with your own stuff. Like, I have developed a way where I will go put it in a lot of work in tracks and develop demo mixes, and then I listen to them over and over again. I put the album together just in demo form. Even the names, even the structure, or the song list, the order. And then I listen to it and listen to it. This is the process I'm going through right now with my Techno God record. I'm listening to it, thinking what it means to me, changing the names of the compositions. And so there's a lot that goes into it. And because it's my own stuff, I just have a different process with me than I would a different artist. So I really appreciate them highlighting that. And a lot of people don't seem to ask questions. Like, it's cool to see other producers interview other producers, because there's just another language that's being spoken, and some things that are not said come to light. And it kind of just gives you a different aspect of that producer and the artist. And I'm really, it Pharrell being in the music business, I have had my dealings with Pharrell a few times, and they were never positive things. It wasn't really his fault as much as that he said it, that there's the egotistical part of being an artist. And so I think that in that way, I was in a category of people to experience his ego, and it was just enormous. And we I never got to see this part of him, which was more of a mature version, very humble, and talking about his craft and talking about how his process works. What I got was the flossing, money. I'll take your girl from you. I'll try and take your girl, which is kind of what kind of happened. And it just turned into a bunch of things that it didn't need to. And it just wasn't with me. This is the experience of other people in the industry that I know. We all had the same experience with this cat. So it's good to see that, sitting down, talking with another professional and talking about the talent that he has, and how it manifests into these great compositions and these productions, is really the conversation that I think a lot of us have wanted to have with Pharrell. And I'm glad that RM was able to break through all of that, you know, very thick, tough exterior, and get into the meat of the process, the meat of the creativity, and how he works. So it was really cool. Great, 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 great interview between two giants of producers. And I just think that it really clicked well. They clicked well. And of course, their music is amazing. So, anyways, we are celebrating RM's birthday. So I just want to say, before we end the video, thank you for stopping by. For everybody that stopped by to see this. This was awesome. Do we have a chat room in this?
Yep.
Yep. Thank you for everybody that stopped by in the chat. And for the Rovers, hey, man, let us know next time. Pop in, say something, let us know where you're watching from. And yeah, hopefully we'll get you some more of this type of content. There is some more references. More people have asked us for these type of videos, so we're definitely going to be putting that together. And for our Patreon members, we definitely have more behind the scenes stuff that's just special for you guys that we're going to start posting weekly. So stay by, stick on for that. Stick on, stick by, stand back, stand by. Oh, anyways, Stay tuned. There's a better way to say it. You guys, thank you. And if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and put the notification bell on so you know the next time we drop one of these videos. Great job, RM. Great job, Pharrell. Thank you, Army. Have a great week. Peace.